Hey guys, Luke here, and there's only a few more days left of 2019, so I thought it was time we recap 2019 a little bit more. Now, I know I've done a few videos going over teams of the decade and teams of the year and that sort of stuff. This time we're going to be going over the top 5 moments of 2019. I think as you can tell by watching some of my previous list videos, this isn't something that I think about in depth. This is just something I think of one day and go, that's a decent moment, at least I can remember it, so it's going in the top 5. Now, if you want to do a more in-depth one, feel free to in the comment section below. Let me know if there's anything that I missed, because I probably have. Anyways, enough chit chat, let's get onto my list. Coming in at number 5, we have Blake Ferguson and his little flip after scoring a try in the Indigenous, or actually just the All-Stars game.
Who's going to be under it? Okay, he spilled it. Peter Hiku can't do anything right, and Ferguson scores. That's an easy try. And oh wow, he's got a backflip.
I was going to say Indigenous All-Stars game. It's actually Indigenous All-Stars versus Maori All-Stars now. I really love the concept change. The first time it happened this year, and obviously the Indigenous team ended up winning. Maori side was a little bit underwhelming, but the only thing I really remember from that game is that Blake Ferguson did a nice little flip. Now, it's weird to think back a few years ago. I absolutely despise Blake Ferguson, but I think he's one of the few NRL players who's actually really turned his life around. Seems like a good dude, despite everything from a few years ago. And just when he did that little flip, I was like, wow, that's great. That's incredible. I was doing a live reaction at the time. Thank you, NRL, for taking that video down, by the way. But it was absolutely incredible to see him do that little flip just because it was so unexpected. Nothing like that has happened for a long time. I assume the Eels fans would have been absolutely, heart and mouth there, because he hadn't even played a game. There was talk leading up to it. I think he had ankle surgery in the preseason, something like that, and then he just busts out that big flip. And yeah, I know it's not like a big rugby league moment, but it was a very exciting moment and something that I enjoyed and something that I remember from the 2019 season. Now, moving on to number 4. Now, this one, it isn't something that happened in an Origin game or an international game or even just a big NRL game, but Chee Kam's winner against the Broncos, I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
Hands instead, Mbai away, gives it to Chee Kam. He'll come back to the middle of the park. Chee Kam's got no one to pass it to. He goes for himself. Chee Kam's going to win the game, is he? He gets there.
It seemed like he was not really doing too much, and all of a sudden just bust straight through and scored. Clutch Chee Kam. I think he actually had a few moments this year where he came up with a big play in big moments, but this one just broke the hearts of Broncos fans. What a try it was. I mean, if you go through, you watch it, it's just so much excitement in it. Just the fact that he went straight around Darius Boyd too was quite comical. But yeah, I mean, the whole trial was quite comical. Broncos fans, players just standing around. I'd say Broncos fans in the crowd, they'll probably be going, what are you doing? It's one of those moments. You're looking at your team going, what are you actually doing? Just tackle him. But nobody did. He just ran through. He went around Darius Boyd, ended up scoring the match winner. What a try. Chee Kam hasn't done too much in his NRL career, but as of late, coming up with some clutch plays. Now, moving on to number 3. Now, this one, it's going to show my bias. I'm a Bulldogs supporter, so I had to throw in a Bulldogs moment there. Now, obviously, the Bulldogs haven't been doing too great as of late the last few years, and it's really hard to pick out a great moment for the Bulldogs. However, the game against the Sharks, it was a great win. The Sharks, obviously, a pretty tough team. They were pretty much full strength. The second half, there was not a point scored. I think it ended up being like 8-6 or something. But what I remember from that game is the defense from the Bulldogs. We had Brendan Wakeham, I think, playing his second game. But the big moment came with a few minutes to go. Bulldogs put in a grub, I think it was Cogger, and then Jack Williams picks it up, and he looks like he's going to run the length of the field. And then eventually Marcelo Montoya and Remus Smith ran him down and saved the game for the Bulldogs, essentially.
A grubber kick and taken brilliantly there by Williams.
Oh no, he's under the posts.
They're not closing. He's gone inside the 30.
Here they come.
Here they come now. They've got him.
Even after that, I mean, Whitey had to defend a little grubber. It was a big moment in the game, and I just remember watching it. I was having a few beers, and I was like super pumped, and I haven't been that pumped about a Bulldogs game in a long time. But that was when the Bulldogs were pushing for a top 8 spot, trying to stay alive, and they did that week. And what a game it was. It was a great game to be a Bulldogs supporter, maybe not to be a Sharks supporter. I mean, it wasn't a great season for the Sharks overall in terms of their fans. Quite frustrating, I'd imagine. But yeah, for the Bulldogs, that game was incredible. Now, moving on to number 2 in the list. Now, this one is quite personal for me. I mean, the last one was. I'm a Bulldogs supporter. It's personal to me as well. But this is my moments of the year, and my number 2 is the NRL World Cup 9s. I say NRL World Cup 9s, it's just Rugby League World Cup 9s. World Cup 9s, I attended it. I don't know how many people watched it at home. but I saw it live and it was absolutely outstanding. I saw it Friday night, I saw it Saturday night, and I absolutely enjoyed every minute of it. It's something that I knew I was going to like, but I wasn't sure how much I was going to like it. Now, on Friday night, I was absolutely plastered. I enjoyed that because I was plastered. And then Saturday, it was quite hot, and I decided to stay off the drink, and I enjoyed it even more. So, yeah, there was some good quality football. It was nice to see some of those French nations actually playing quite well. I remember, I think it was Lebanon beat England. I mean, Australia ended up winning it in the men's. I think New Zealand won in the women's, but yeah, Australia won in the men's, which going into it, I wasn't sure how Australia was going to do. Obviously, the teams weren't really like full strength teams, you would imagine, but a lot of them were good nines teams, because I mean the nines would be different to 13 aside, but the Australian team definitely, like, after you saw them play the first time, you're like, wow, this team is good. And Callum Ponga, I thought, didn't even play good, and I thought he was going to be the best player. But yeah, the New Zealand team was good, Australia was good. It was just a good tournament overall, good vibes. And obviously, I think I had a better experience, you know, being there than people would have watching it on TV. But yeah, it was a great event, and I hope they have it again. And hopefully, a lot more people go to it next year or whenever it's going to be, because, like I said, it was a great little event. Now, moving on to my top moment of 2019. Now, I was at the World Cup Nines. I was also at this one. I was at State of Origin Game 3, where New South Wales lifted the trophy. James Tedesco's try in the corner. It was just right in front of me. I was in the corner as well. Just watching him go over and score the match winner, it was just outstanding. Now, I got to admit, throughout the game, I thought New South Wales, I thought they blew it. They had the lead around the stadium. Everyone was cheering. It was just like New South Wales was going to run away with it. And then all of a sudden, Queensland hit back, scored a couple quick tries, and even the game, we were like, oh shit. This is just typical Queensland. It's going to happen again. No, it didn't. James Tedesco saving the day. In fact, it was a team try. Tedesco scored it, but there were a lot of factors in it. Ferguson did very well down the sideline. Was it Trebojevic or someone threw a nice little pass. Yeah, there was a lot of good things done by the Blues in the lead up. But yeah, just the fact that it was literally like the last play in the game broke the Queenslanders' heart for once. Usually it's the opposite, and we're the ones on the receiving end. And I've never cheered so hard in my life. I was with a mate who's not even a big rugby league fan, and he was just going off his head as well. Everyone around us was going off his head, especially the drunk guy who eventually had to get kicked out. But yeah, it was a good night. It was a great moment, and the fact that the Blues went back to back after so long of just getting towed up year after year, the fact that we've gone back to back, it feels so good. And Queensland fans probably won't agree with this one, but it's number one on my list. And now, guys, that's my top 5 moments of 2019. It was quite personal to me. They were my top 5 moments of the year. Probably not the best moments overall, but they were the ones that I can think back on and say, yeah, I remember that one. So that's how they made it onto the list. Leave in the comment section below, like I said earlier, leave your top 5 moments of the year. It doesn't have to be like the biggest moment. It's just something that's quite personal to you, something that you remember. Also, while you're at it, guys, if you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Also, make sure to follow me on social media. It's MrLuke on YT. It's on the screen right now. Same as my Snapchat as well. It's MrLuke on YT. Go ahead and add me on that. My Facebook is also in the description below. It's just MrLuke. Just search it up on Facebook. It should come up. I don't necessarily post there that much, but hey, every now and again. Anyway, guys, it's Christmas Eve. Hopefully, you all have a good Christmas. Don't think I'll be posting tomorrow. So, yeah, have a good Christmas. That's where I'm going to end the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.